Alright, so today I'm going to be changing the idle air control valve on my 2001 Dodge Ram 2500. The idle air control valve looks a little bit like this, and it is located underneath the air filter on the throttle body at the back of the engine. As you can see, maybe right back there. It's going to be right there. So what I got to do first, take off the air filter. And to do that, it's a pretty simple process. Just take a flathead screwdriver, undo that clamp right there, come back around this side, and just pull this bad boy off right here. Alright, so I already got the clamp undone in the back. The next thing, you just give it a firm tug, and that bad boy should come right off of there. Yeah, I'll be right back once I get it off. Might need to have two hands. So the air filter came off easier than I thought. I just had to pull it forward. I'm just going to let it sit right here for now. So the next thing we're going to need to do is hop up in here so that we can get right back here. And what we're going to need to do now... Alright, so the air filter's off, and the next step is to unplug this cable here from the idle air control valve. As you can see, it plugs in right there. Just pull that clamp and it should pop right off there. Now to actually get the valve out of the throttle body, you're going to need a Torx wrench. That's not the Torx wrench. You're going to need a Torx wrench in order for this to work correctly. With that, there are two screws. Let me see if I can find these. Near the top, one is located right there, and another one on the other side. So once I get those off, I'll be back. Alright, so I got the screws out. They were a little tough to get to at first, but once you break them free, they came out no problem. The only hard thing is, it's kind of a small spot to get back in there, you know, so it wasn't the easiest thing to cram myself back in there and get those screws out. So after that, the idle air control valve will pop right off. Here it is. And all you're gonna have to do is do a little bit of adjusting on the old one, or on the new one I should say, and pop it in there. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so before you pop this new guy on there, you got to make sure that this is not extended more than 1 1/8 of an inch out past you know, from the base here. If it is, it can cause damage. I can just tell by looking at this, it's not more than 1 1/8 inches. This one's probably pushing it, the old one. But this new one's looking pretty good. So the next thing to do is to clean up the mounting surface back there. I'm just going to use a rag and wipe it down really good. You want to clean up that mounting surface to make sure you get a good seal with this valve and that O-ring right there. Alright, so the mounting surface wasn't too awfully dirty, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I know this thing's looking pretty rough right here. So let me get this one put on there, and I'll be back. It's just an easy process, you know, make sure it's lined up the same way as the other one. It's going to go back in there at about this angle. About 45 degrees. The two screws are about 45 degrees apart from each other. So we'll just pop it in, put the screws back in it, plug it in, put the air cleaner back on, and it'll be ready to go. We'll start it up to make sure everything's working okay. So I'll be back after I get this installed back there behind the throttle body. Alright, so last step, I got everything installed. So last step is to start it up to see if it works. Everything seems to be running correctly. So I'm just going to assume that I did everything right. Let's take a look in here.